This is one of those curious places in the Bible where the focus is not on what Jesus says. The focus is not on what the Father says. The focus is not on what the Holy Spirit says. Jesus wants an answer. Who do you say that I am? The focus is on what you said. Now, why is this so important? Because it is important. It's absolutely critical. It's so important that this is considered, this event at Caesarea Philippi and this question are considered the pivot point of the Gospel of Mark. Everything leads up to this point, and everything leads from this point to the foot of the cross. This is the pivot, the very center of the Gospel. Who do you say that I am? Now, you and I live in a culture where we are asked over and over again, what do you want? You and I live in this land of McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken where we're told over and over again, have it your way. Have it your way. Indeed, this kind of thinking is so ingrained in people that young couples coming to Trinity Church are sometimes disturbed when they cannot sit down with me and simply order any kind of wedding or funeral that they may want. They're absolutely stunned if I begin to balk. Well, what do you mean you don't want to do X, Y, or Z? And it's as if the only thing that matters is what they want and my compensation. Because they always say as an excuse, well, we'll pay you. You put on this clown costume and jump up and down. And I mean, it really, it's very curious. And so I have to explain to them sometimes, no, the church has expectations too. And they go, it's, but you see, this is the consumerist attitude has really become ingrained in us. And it's ingrained in us everywhere we go. And so often when you ask people, well, how come I haven't seen you at church? The response is, well, I don't get anything out of it. Again, as if the principal focus is on what you want. And what we're going to see today is that Jesus, in asking, who do you say that I am, is really trying to get you to focus on what is the focus? Why are you in this relationship? Who is this guy, Jesus? Who do you say that I am? Now, are we free to say back to Jesus, well, you're really a nice guy, or you're a wonderful rabbi and teacher? C.S. Lewis in the book Mere Christianity wrote a real pithy response to that. C.S. Lewis wrote, I am trying here to prevent anyone from saying the really foolish thing that people often say about Jesus. I'm ready to accept Jesus as a great moral teacher, but I don't accept his claim to be God. Lewis writes, this is the thing we must not say. A man who was merely a man and said the sort of things Jesus said would not be a great moral teacher. He would either be a lunatic on the level of a man who insists he's a poached egg, or else he would be the devil of hell. You have to make your choice. Either Jesus was and is the Son of God, or he's a madman, or something worse. You can shut him up for a fool, you can spit at him and kill him as a demon, or you can fall at his feet and call him Lord and God. But let us not come to any patronizing nonsense about his being a great human teacher. He has not left that option open to us. He did not intend to. Again, that's from C.S. Lewis in Mere Christianity. Now, there's another problem here. It has to do with power and how much power you think the individual actually has. Is the true nature of the universe and everything in it really dependent on what I say or what I want? Or is there some kind of objective truth outside of me and my opinion? And this is a very important question because the popular culture wants to take everything back to this issue of what satisfies me, what satisfies my individual desire. Because we really have convinced ourselves that that's what makes us happy. Dr. Baran Wolf once wrote, if you really observe a happy person, you will see him or her building a boat, writing a symphony, educating their children, growing dahlias in their garden, or looking for dinosaur eggs in the Gobi Desert. That's in Mongolia. To find happiness, Wolf wrote, we must seek for it in a focus outside ourselves. Okay? Happiness is not here. Happiness is, we find it outside ourselves. And indeed, I think this is what St. James is trying to get at in his epistle this morning, where he says, show me your works. You know, your faith will manifest itself in your actions outside yourself. So Jesus is really trying to help us by pushing us. Who do you say that I am? And you know, if you're convinced everything comes down to what you want, then what you're really saying is you're God. Everything depends on what you want. But if God is outside you, that changes everything. If God is outside of you, then this Jesus is his son. Now, just one more bit of setting the scene here. This whole event at Caesarea Philippi takes place in a fascinating location. Jesus and his disciples are on the road, approaching Caesarea Philippi. And Caesarea Philippi is up on a high place. You have to travel a long, rising road up to the top of this hill, this mesa. And when you get up there, it seems like you can see forever. And up on this high place, group after group after group who have come to the Middle East and conquered it have built temple after temple, worshiping one God after another. And so they're all over the place up there. It is an ideal place for Jesus to ask this question. Who do you say that I am? Because if you're not going to worship Zeus, and here's his temple, if you're not going to worship Caesar, and here's some monument to him, and if you're not going to worship the divine me, then who is your God? Could it be this Jesus? This extraordinary man who heals the sick, restores hearing to the deaf, and makes the lame to walk. He is the fulfillment of prophecy after prophecy after prophecy. And St. Peter has a really tough time with this question. He has a really tough time with this question. In fact, he's so upset by Jesus' prediction that he must suffer and die that Peter interrupts. He takes Jesus aside and rebukes him, tells him to stop talking like this.